Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Tarot time. Here's my hand. So a while back, I used to always do, you could check it out on any of my social medias, but I used to always do like a once upon a time thing, like a storytelling, like where I would read the cards, put them together, then I would write a story. And today I shuffled, I threw out the cards, and I really took my time with writing this story. I mean, I'm talking pen to paper, so you better watch it. I've always liked doing this. I had taken a class about, God, I was in my 20s and I'm 60s now, from this master tarot reader. And this woman was amazing. I'm sure she's passed by now. And her theories on tarot and her lessons and just everything, the way she would, I don't know, just the way she could see the cards and see what was coming out of them was amazing. And you have to remember, when tarot was invented, it's a tarot game. There's an actual game that was meant to be played with it. And as time went on, and thank God for our Italians, the royals, they started taking the cards and playing the games, but they would look at the cards and, obviously they would see something in them, and they would make these predictions, So that's how it evolved. I mean, there's other little theories and stuff like that, but pretty much that's the gist of things. It's like medications that are made for one thing and then they find out they cure something else. It's no different. Life's all about accidents. Or is it accidents? Is it accidents? I don't think so. Okay, so this is what I'm naming this video, because I wrote that down too. I realized at 64 and with everything I have on my plate and stuff, you gotta write things down. All right, let's give it a whirl. Put your comments below. Tell me if you like this, because like I said, I did it a long time ago and people, they kind of liked it. So let's see. All right, so I titled it, "The Universe is About to Settle the Score. It's Your Turn," which a lot of people walk around with that mindset. When is it my turn? Okay, when is it my turn? All right, so I had to cover. So as I was covering the world, I said, you know what? Let me clarify it. Get a good bang for my buck here. So once upon a time, there was a traveler who believed the journey had ended simply because the road had disappeared. That feeling of nothing's happening? The traveler looked around and saw only silence. No signs, no footsteps, no doors waiting to be opened. And I hear that all the time. People call me for readings and I'm like, and what brings you here today? And they're like, nothing. There's nothing happening in my life. People don't like stillness. They don't like peace and quiet. If they just need something always happening. So no doors were waiting to be open. What did I do wrong? They whispered, because we always take on that burden ourselves. But the universe smiled and said, you've mistaken stillness for abandonment. Okay, so look at the Four of Swords and see how they're resting there, and they have all their crap up in the tree. Your crap's still waiting for you, but it's just not with you at the time. The world tells us one chapter has already been completed. One version of you has reached the finish line. But every ending in tarot is really the beginning of something greater. So there's no ending. You're always growing in the real world. Okay? The spirit whispers through the Four of Swords. The reason I asked you to rest was because the next chapter will require a stronger version of you. Sometimes the greatest magic happens while nothing seems to be happening at all. And I tell everybody that all the time. It's like they say, what's that saying before the storm? The quiet before the storm. And not everything has to be a storm if it's quiet. Okay, so don't confuse the two. So now we go to the Nine of Pentacles, and she's one of my favorite cards. And don't get caught up in the gender. When the traveler finally opens their eyes, they realize something extraordinary. The garden they had spent years planted had quietly bloomed. Every disappointment had become wisdom. Every tear had watered the soil. Every lesson had grown into strength. The woman in the Nine of Pentacles isn't wealthy because life was easy. She's abundant because she refused to stop believing in herself. Notice the falcon perch gently on her hand. Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it waits patiently until the moment to spread its wings. Now, I love the Nine of Pentacles because that is the wish card. I also love the Nine of Pentacles because it's a personal achievement to myself. This is a person, most likely a female energy, who has the ability to paddle their own canoe. And I always tell that to people. They don't look to others for financial help. They don't look to others for any kind of help. They can handle it all themselves. Not that they don't want somebody in their life, a partner, but they don't need somebody. And that's a huge difference, because when you just want somebody, you choose wisely. But when you need somebody, you do not choose wisely. And again, roses here indicate love. So I would say maybe you've been alone for a while, or you've kissed the wrong frog. And now you're about to start maybe kissing the right frog. So then we come across Mr. Knight of Swords. Without warning, the wind changed. Clouds rolled across the sky. The silence that had lasted for what we felt like forever shattered beneath the sound of the galloping hooves. The Knight of Swords doesn't ask permission. He arrives like destiny itself. Truth that was hidden finds its voice. Now, don't forget, swords are all about our thought process, okay? They're all about conversations. They're all about voices in our head and not in our head. There are air signs. There are Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Doors that refuse to open wide. Answers you've been searching for start racing to you faster than ever. And Spirit says, when divine timing decides to move, nothing can stand in its way. And nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear, well, the timing isn't right. They get really ticked off when you say that, you know. But then when it does happen, you finally realize, well, I guess the timing wasn't right, because look back to a place you were where you really thought you wanted something to happen. And then you're like, damn, I'm glad it didn't happen, because you would not have been ready and it would not have fit into your life. So then we get the Six of Pentacles. I love this. My traveler reached a bridge, waiting there, an old keeper holding the golden scales. On one side sat every sleepless night, every disappointment, every unanswered prayer, every tear no one had ever seen. On the other side was blessings, opportunity, healing, unexpected kindness, justice. The keeper smiled. The universe never forgets a debt. Trust me on this. The scales slowly tipped, not because someone pitied the traveler, not because life suddenly became fair, but because every act of faith, every moment they choose hope over fear, every time they kept walking when it would have been easier to quit, had been counted. I do believe spirit watches, energy watches. That could be within yourself. Maybe you're fighting yourself, you know, and you've got your own cheerleader in there going, no, I know you could do this. So now it's your turn to receive, okay? So you searched in empty places, you questioned your path, you wondered if the universe had stopped listening. I hear that a lot. Like, I feel people come to me and they're always like, I don't think anybody hears my prayers, you know, if you pray, you know, stuff like that. So when I put this together, the universe is sending you a message and it's telling you it's not too late. It kind of waits until your soul's ready. So I do believe that there is something fabulous coming in. I do believe with the Nine of Pentacles, it is a part of a wish. I also believe because her garden is so full and in bloom, and don't forget about roses, they need a lot of work. And I remember I wanted to, years ago, plant a rose bush. And my mom says, yeah, they're a lot of work. You got to feed it. They take forever to bloom. And sometimes that's how some things are in life. So I think you're getting there. I think you're going to be very surprised at what is coming your way. And I do think that you've been working on it silently. And I think a lot of you are even unaware that you've been working on it, which is the odd thing. Like you don't even really know. There's maybe, I always feel like energy is very scattered in us. And there's the voice that says, oh, it's never going to happen. But yet there's another voice that's deep, deep within you that says, like, shit, it's never going to happen. You got this. And we're still working on it. So it's, I can't say to you, always have faith in yourself. If there was a button on you to push, I would, but there isn't. But it looks good. So I think if I'm going to name this, I better write that down because I forget things. Spirit says it's finally happening, or the waiting is over. So hopefully this made sense. Hopefully you liked my little story time. Like I said, I used to do these, a while back. I do like to switch up, the way I read tarot, because there's so many ways you can read it. There's just so many ways that you can read this wonderful set of cards. So if you do not subscribe, please do. I would appreciate it. Like this video. That helps too for the cause, or follow me wherever you happen to see me. And everybody, today is Monday, and everybody have a great day.